40 years old, 56,000 followers, a goalkeeper playing in the Portuguese second division for a country smaller than most World Cup cities. On Monday, he walked out in Atlanta to face Spain, the most expensive attack on the planet, and everyone expected a massacre. 90 minutes later, the score was still 0-0. He had made 7 saves, and overnight his phone gained almost 5 million new followers. This is the story of Vozinha, the man who stopped the World Cup favorites and broke the internet on the very same afternoon. Let's get into it. First, who this guy actually is. His name is Vozinha, which translates beautifully to little voice. He is 40 years old. He keeps goal for Chavez in the Portuguese second division. And before this match, almost nobody outside his islands had heard of him. Cape Verde is a cluster of islands off West Africa with around 500,000 people. And this is the first World Cup they have ever reached. So the pundits were not exactly kind. The predictions were 5-0, 6-0, get the popcorn. On paper, Spain were going to score for fun. And on paper, that made sense. Spain walked out with a front line worth more than Cape Verde's entire league. Players whose weekly wage is bigger than Vozinha's life savings. One side had private jets, a trophy cabinet, and the best young attack in the world. The other had a 40-year-old keeper, a second division badge, and absolutely nothing to lose. Football has one stubborn rule, though, and Spain forgot it that night. Paper does not make champions. Saves do. Then the shots started, and they did not stop. Spain came in waves, and Vozinha simply would not break. 15 minutes in, Pedri carved the defense open, and Vozinha threw out a hand to deny him. A header that the crowd had already started celebrating clawed back off the line. A curling shot bending into the top corner, finger-tipped onto the bar. By the end, Spain had taken 27 shots, 7 of them on target, and Vozinha had saved every single one. 7 shots on goal, 7 saves. The harder Spain pushed, the bigger this 40-year-old got, until every catch he made sounded, inside that stadium, exactly like a goal. Final whistle, 0-0, a scoreline that not one person on earth had predicted. Cape Verde, on their World Cup debut, had just taken a point off Spain, and Vozinha was named man of the match. Afterwards, on camera, he did not talk tactics or formations. He just said, "I worked hard all my life for this moment, for this dream." And somewhere, a very expensive Spanish analytics report quietly deleted itself out of shame. But the genuinely insane part happened in the dressing room, the second he picked up his phone. Before kickoff, Vozinha had 56,000 followers, the kind of number you get from family, friends, and a few loyal locals. Within 24 hours, that number had blown past 5 million. That is not a typo. A second division goalkeeper added almost 5 million followers in a single day, faster than most pop stars manage in a year. Messages flooded in from Brazil, from Japan, from people who could not have found Cape Verde on a map that morning and were proudly wearing its colors by night. And that is really the whole point. Vozinha's story is not about 7 saves. It is about the fact that on one ordinary Monday, a 40-year-old nobody became a hero the entire planet agreed on, just by being ready when his one shot finally arrived. So tell me below, was this the single best moment of the tournament so far? And if you think that is the wildest thing that happened this week, wait until you see the referee who picked up a microphone and accidentally created the first meme of the entire World Cup. Full story right here. Subscribe, because at this tournament, the impossible just keeps happening, almost every single day.